What's up guys, Lou here, and I just picked up the brand new Chromecast, which was announced yesterday, and there was some next day shipping available on Amazon, but they sold out pretty quickly. I don't know if there are any remaining right now, but I will link it down in the description so you can check the pricing and availability at the time that you're watching this. This thing is 35 bucks and it claims to do some pretty impressive things for that price. I'm excited to check it out, see how it operates, see how it works. As you can see on the back here, it promises to give you, your usual smartphone functionality on your television. You've got Chrome capabilities, YouTube capabilities, Netflix, and anything from the Google Play Store. And it does all of that in an incredibly tiny little device. I wanted to do a really quick unboxing because it is such a brand new device. This is the thing, this is all you need. This little guy right here, it looks about the size of a USB key, and it has an HDMI on one side, a micro USB on the other side, and then what looks like a little button. And then what looks like a little button. Yeah, and then a little button as well, probably a power button. Not 100% sure, but that's the device that does all the magic. You will need USB power for it, so I assume that's the other part that's inside of here. Plug it in, attach USB power, switch the input, set it up, and you are good to go. Yeah, so here's the other items in the box. You have a USB cable, a tiny little USB power brick right here, and then lastly, you have an HDMI extender. So I guess if your HDMI port is not all that accessible or you can't fit the dongle in there, you have an option to extend it using this HDMI extender. And then there's a tiny little manual that I almost missed in there. A tiny little manual for it, but I don't think I'm gonna read that. I don't think I need to, because judging from the getting started guide on the inside here, it looks pretty damn simple. So I'm gonna go ahead, connect it to this flat panel over here and see what it can do.
I decided to hook it up to this smaller TV actually because I thought it would be easier to demonstrate the setup process. Since the HDMI port is kind of hidden on this one, I did need to use the extender, and I do want to mention it gets on there real tight, so it's probably not gonna come off by accident if you do need to use the extension. And then on the other end, you have a little LED light that will tell you if the device has power. You use the little USB to get that baby going. Now, setup is a little bit finicky. You can only do so right now with a few different devices, or actually a number of different devices. You can use Mac OS 10.7 and beyond, I believe, as well as a Windows PC and then Android mobile devices. In my case, I'm using a laptop here, and you have to navigate yourself to google.com/Chromecast/setup, and after that, it'll pretty much get going on its own. It's pretty simple. You just click next, hook into your wireless network, put in your password, and then the Chromecast will be available to you. There is an extension that you install into your browser, into Chrome, which will then give you the ability to broadcast whatever it is that you're seeing in Chrome, whether that means a tab or a YouTube video. You can still see the authentication process here. It asks you to match up the two codes on each of your two devices, and of course mine were matching, so that allowed me to move on to the next step. But after that, you're pretty much ready to cast, as it says on the screen. It will remain in that state until you push something over to it. So you have a couple of different options if you're on YouTube, for example. Right in the YouTube video on the bottom portion, there is a cast button, and you can click that button and then just cast the video portion of your page. Or if you want to get fancy, you can cast the entire Chrome tab. So if you're on a site like Amazon, for example, I just did this for an example, of course. You can see me scrolling through here. There's a tiny bit of lag, but actually pretty damn useful, and I could see myself using this for a number of different applications. So you can either cast a tab and see your entire web browser, or you can cast an independent video, but everything's pretty seamless and much quicker than I expected it to be, especially for a $35 device. This thing is actually pretty impressive. The story is exactly the same on your mobile device. In this case, on my Nexus 4, I opened up YouTube and boom, the button was there, so I could start casting from my Nexus 4 as well. I've been told, or I've read, that there should be an iOS app coming out shortly as well, so you can start to use some of that functionality too. But anyways, it's working right now on Nexus devices, other Android devices, and on my laptop. I think the killer functionality for me is from my laptop to broadcast a real YouTube experience up to a bigger display, and then still have the inherent YouTube functionality that comes with using a laptop, like commenting, rating, and all those important elements that you can't currently get in a lot of the television-based YouTube apps. So anyway, guys, that wraps wraps up this first look at the Chromecast from Google. $35, and you're getting somewhat like an Apple TV experience. This is a pretty compelling product. As I said earlier in the video, you could check out the links in the description. I hope it's still not sold out, though it might be. If you guys enjoyed this content, please remember to leave a thumbs up down below, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Later.
And then what looks like a little button.